Welcome back to Mindful English. I'm James.
And I'm Ruby. Welcome to Episode 8 of the Mindful English Mindset, 10 Steps to Calm Fluency.
Have you ever been speaking English?
And suddenly your mind goes completely blank?
You know the words.
You understand the question,
You even know what you want to say.
but nothing comes out.
It's such a strange feeling,
And surprisingly common.
especially when someone asks you a question unexpectedly,
Maybe they say, "What do you think about it?"
and your brain immediately says,
I have no idea.
even when you actually do have an idea.
The problem isn't always your English.
Sometimes it's the pressure.
You feel like you need to answer immediately.
So you start searching for the perfect sentence.
And the more you search,
The harder it becomes to find anything.
this is why today's episode is about something very simple,
Keeping the conversation moving.
even when you need time to think.
Because fluent speakers don't always answer immediately.
They pause too.
They use small expressions.
They reformulate their ideas.
They ask questions.
They buy themselves a few seconds.
And none of that means they're bad speakers.
It's actually part of natural conversation.
Let's imagine someone asks me, "What's your opinion about learning online?"
And you don't have an immediate answer.
I could just say, "I don't know."
You could.
But that ends the conversation.
Exactly.
Instead, I could say, "That's an interesting question."
And suddenly you've created a little space,
Space to think.
while still communicating.
Then I could continue with, "I think there are some really good things about it."
You don't even have to finish the thought immediately.
Right.
The important thing is that you're still speaking.
Another useful expression is, "Let me think."
Very simple.
Let me think about that for a second.
Completely natural.
Or, "That's a good question."
Again, you're not giving the answer yet.
But you're showing that you're processing the question.
And that's much better than panicking.
I think learners sometimes believe every second of silence is embarrassing.
But it isn't,
A short pause can sound thoughtful.
especially when you use it intentionally.
There's a difference between freezing.
And taking a moment.
Freezing feels like the conversation has stopped.
Taking a moment feels like you're still in control.
So these little phrases can act like bridges.
Bridges between the question.
And your answer.
Exactly.
Let's try another one.
Okay.
Someone asks, "Why do you like learning English?"
What would you say?
Well, I've never really thought about it that way.
That's a great response.
Then I can think while continuing.
And maybe follow with, I guess I like being able to communicate with people from different countries.
Notice what happened.
You didn't prepare the answer.
I created it while speaking.
That's a very important skill.
Because real conversations don't give you preparation time.
You can't predict every question.
So instead of preparing perfect answers,
We should prepare flexible tools,
expressions that help us think,
phrases that help us clarify.
and ways to keep going when we forget something.
That's what we're going to practice in this episode.
They're simply taking a little longer to arrive.
And that's completely normal.
So what can we do while we're waiting for those words?
We can use what I like to call thinking phrases.
Small expressions that give you time?
Exactly.
Let's give the listeners some examples.
Let me think for a moment.
That's an interesting question.
I've never really thought about that before.
How can I explain this?
I guess I'd say
From my point of view,
these expressions aren't empty.
they're doing a job,
They're helping you organize your thoughts.
and they make your speech sound more natural too.
Because conversations aren't perfectly organized.
People pause.
They change direction.
They start a sentence and change it halfway through.
They search for a word.
They even say, "What I mean is..."
That's another useful expression.
Imagine I say, "I think learning alone is better. Actually, that's not exactly what I mean."
Then you can continue with, what I mean is, I like studying alone sometimes, but I also need conversation practice.
You didn't fail.
You refined your thought.
That's an important distinction.
Learners often think changing a sentence means they made a terrible mistake.
But native speakers do it constantly.
Spoken language is flexible.
It's not a written essay.
You don't have to produce a perfect sentence from beginning to end.
You can adjust your words as you go.
And that's especially useful when your vocabulary is limited.
Suppose I forget the word appointment.
What could you do?
I could say I have a meeting with the doctor tomorrow.
Good.
I even communicated the idea. Another example, maybe I forget umbrella.
You could say, the thing you use when it's raining.
Exactly.
The listener may even give you the word.
Oh, you mean an umbrella?
And now you've learned it in context.
That's much better than stopping the entire conversation.
There's a phrase that can help here.
Which one?
What's the word for...
Very useful. For example, what's the word for the thing you use to open a bottle?
Maybe the listener says, a bottle opener.
And the conversation continues.
You asked for help without leaving the conversation.
That's a skill learners should feel comfortable using.
Asking for clarification is not weakness.
It's communication.
You can say, what does that mean?
Or, could you say that again?
Or, do you mean...
Using these phrases give you control when you don't understand something,
And they prevent you from pretending to understand.
which is another common problem.
Yes.
Sometimes learners smile and say, yeah, even though they have no idea what was said,
Then the conversation becomes even more stressful.
because you're trying to guess what happened.
It's much better to ask one simple question. Sorry, what did you mean?
Or, could you explain that?
Natural
Clear.
and much less stressful.
There's also another trick for moments when your mind goes blank.
What's that?
Repeat part of the question.
Give me an example.
If someone asks, what do you think makes a good friend?
I could say, what makes a good friend? Then pause.
And think,
You're not simply repeating them
I'm buying time.
and giving your brain a chance to organize an answer.
That's clever.
It's also completely natural in conversation.
So maybe someone asks, why did you choose your major?
You could start with, why did I choose my major? Then, well, I think.
And continue from there.
Suddenly, a difficult question feels manageable.
Because you're not trying to produce the entire answer instantly.
You're building it one piece at a time.
And that's exactly how natural speaking often works.
One thought leads to another.
One sentence gives you the next sentence.
So maybe we don't need to be afraid of not knowing our entire answer.
We only need to know how to begin. We only need to know how to begin.
Exactly. Once you begin, your thoughts often become easier to organize.
It's almost like the first sentence opens the door.
And then the rest of the idea can follow.
But what happens when you begin speaking and realize you don't know how to finish?
Don't panic.
Easier said than done.
Then use a simple structure.
Which structure?
Give yourself a point, a reason, and an example.
That sounds useful.
Let's say someone asks, do you prefer studying alone or with other people?
I could start with my point. I usually prefer studying alone.
Then give your reason.
I can concentrate better when it's quiet.
And then an example.
For example, when I'm studying something difficult, I like to work at my own pace.
That's already a complete answer.
And I didn't need advanced vocabulary.
Exactly.
What if I don't have a strong opinion?
You can say that.
I'm not sure.
Then explain why.
It depends on the situation.
That's a very useful sentence.
Because many questions don't have simple answers.
You can say, it depends.
It depends on the person.
It depends on the situation.
It depends on how much time I have.
These phrases give you room to think while making your answer more specific.
Another thing I notice is that we don't always need to answer the exact question immediately.
What do you mean?
Sometimes we can start with something related.
As long as we eventually answer the question.
Right.
For example, someone asks, what's your favorite kind of music?
I might say, I listen to a lot of different music. Recently, I've been listening to...
And now you're already moving toward your answer.
So I don't have to search for one perfect sentence.
You can approach the answer naturally.
That's helpful for spontaneous conversations.
And there's another skill that makes spontaneous speaking easier.
Asking questions back.
Exactly.
If someone asks me, do you enjoy traveling?
You could answer briefly and then ask, what about you?
Now the other person speaks.
And you get time to listen and think about what to say next.
So a conversation isn't an interview where I have to perform continuously.
It's shared.
That's a comforting thought.
That's a good question. Let me think.
And that small sentence can completely change what happens next.
Because you're no longer fighting the silence.
You're using it.
You're giving yourself permission to think.
And you're showing the other person that you're still part of the conversation.
So let's turn everything we've talked about into one simple practice.
Find someone you can speak English with.
A friend, a language partner, or even yourself.
Ask yourself unexpected questions.
Questions you haven't prepared for.
What would you do if you had a free day tomorrow?
What's something you've changed your mind about?
What makes a good friend?
What's something you're looking forward to?
Don't write your answers first.
Give yourself only a few seconds.
Use a thinking phrase if you need one.
Then start with one simple idea.
If you forget a word, describe it.
If you make a mistake, continue.
If you need clarification, ask.
And if your answer changes while you're speaking,
Let it change.
that's real conversation.
The goal isn't to sound prepared.
It's to become comfortable being unprepared.
That's a very different kind of confidence.
Confidence isn't knowing exactly what you'll say,
It's trusting yourself to find something to say.
even when the perfect words aren't available.
And remember, a pause isn't a failure.
A simple sentence isn't a failure.
Asking for help isn't a failure.
Correcting yourself isn't a failure.
They're all normal parts of communication.
So the next time your mind goes blank,
Don't immediately think my English is terrible.
try thinking, my brain just needs a moment.
Take a breath
Look for your first idea.
and start there.
You can build the rest while you're speaking.
That's what we want you to take from today's episode of the Mindful English Mindset, 10 Steps to Calm Fluency.
Today, we talked about what to do when your mind suddenly goes blank in English.
We learned how to use thinking phrases.
We learned how to ask for clarification.
We learned how to describe words we forget.
We learned how to build and answer one idea at a time.
Most importantly, we learned that fluent speakers don't always know what they're going to say next.
They simply know how to keep the conversation moving.
So don't wait until every word is ready.
Start with the words you have,
Give yourself time.
and trust your brain to find the next sentence.
In episode 9, we'll explore something that can quietly change the way you learn English.
We'll talk about creating an English environment around you, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country.
Because sometimes you don't need more study time.
You need more moments where English naturally becomes part of your day.
Until then, don't be afraid of the pause.
Let yourself think.
Let yourself make mistakes.
And most importantly,
Keep speaking.
see you in episode 9.